5 real attributes of leadership that do not get views. So if you watch enough videos on leadership, on management, on growing businesses, selling businesses, finding capital, you'll see there's many different perspectives on what makes an optimal leader. And the things that are popular, the things that are well circulated are vulnerability, emotions, and that's all fine and good, and there's an element of that that's important in business. But the foundational elements of leadership, from our experience, and again, just my opinion, feel free to trash the video or skip along if you feel like we're off here, but from our experience, there's been 5 key elements of leadership that are more subtle, that are more nuanced, that are stealthier in their appearance, yet are fundamental, are important, and that we find a better indicator of the success of a business than some of the things that are more readily perceived or expounded, if you will, on the internet. So let's dig into those. Number 1 is being decisive. This does not mean that there can't be any delegation within a business, but the key important decisions need to be made by the leaders of the business. And again, that doesn't mean the owners of the business, that doesn't mean the certain executives of the business, but it will be the leaders of the business. And so whether that is intentional or by default, whoever makes the decisions will be looked upon as the leader of the business. So keep that in mind. So if you want to be the leader of the business, then decisions must be made by you. And they're not makeable with 100% certainty, but it's who's willing to take the leap of that risk of some level of uncertainty to make the decisions. And can decisions be made? And are they not waffled? And are they not retraded? Is there strong decision making? And so look within a business as to who's making the decisions, because somebody is, and that tends to be the leader of the business, and that is a strong tenet of good leadership. Now, the second variable is responsibility. And you say, well, what's the difference between decisions and responsibility? Responsibility, we want to introduce the concept of fault versus problem, right? People will point around in a business saying, that's not my fault, therefore it's not my problem. But a true leader in a business takes responsibility to say, it may not be my fault, but it is my problem. I am responsible. And so within our company, or with the best leaders that we've seen, they take responsibility. They will not point fingers at others. They will simply say, whatever the result is, it's my problem, it's for me to deal with, and I will be responsible for that, whether, again, they were the creating factor of the situation or not. And people within a company are very quick to realize who's taking responsibility, and they know, everybody knows who causes a situation, who creates a problem, who solves a problem, but they are always respectful and will look up to those who take responsibility for a situation, agnostic of whose fault the situation or the genesis of the situation may be. Number 3, this one may not be as popular these days, is emotional stability, the idea of stoicism. I've seen 1,000 social media things of people crying, people screaming, people yelling, and while that has a inflammatory effect, if you will, and I don't mean inflammatory necessarily negatively, but does it arise some emotions? Absolutely. Can it be impactful? Absolutely. But over the long run, within a business, it's the emotional stability. It's the fact that you know there's a leader there that can embrace whatever chaos is going on and is not going to fly off the handle, is not going to run into the bathroom and cry, and is going to sit there and say, okay, how do we deal with this? How do we fix this? How do we achieve what we're looking to achieve, where the good things are not too high, the bad things are not too low, but where there's that consistent stability. And it's that reverberates throughout a company. If as a business leader you make something the end of the world, trust me, everyone else around you is going to feel the same way. And if you make something that, hey, we will deal with this, this will be fixed and we'll plow through it, then that similar sentiment is going to be shared as well. So we find effective leadership to have a level of emotional stability and stoicism that, again, may not be popular in the world of us puking every emotion that we have into the universe, but it is effective. Number 4, someone who's willing to do all of the work. There was a scene, I don't know if anyone's a fan of Peaky Blinders, right? There's a scene of Thomas Shelby when he goes into the horse stables and he starts shoveling manure with the guy that works for him, and he makes some witty comments along the way, but effectively what that communicated to the other person was that he's in there in the trenches doing the same exact thing. And that doesn't mean you have to be doing everything with everybody all the time, but are you willing to get your hands dirty? Do you feel like you're too good for the rank and file of your business, or are you there showing that you have done it, you will do it, and you will do whatever is necessary? That adds a lot of respect. I worked for a boss one time in New York that was a very difficult person in the sense of demanding. However, this gentleman was in the office every morning before everybody was there, after everybody, and was in all of the difficult meetings alongside us. And so although people may have liked or disliked his demeanor or temperament or approach to business, he could never be disrespected as a leader of the business because he was willing to do the things that everybody else was, and ultimately that earns respect. And number 5, which kind of aggregates some of these thoughts, is the ability to reflect, the ability to improve, and the ability to do so quietly and without dumping it on everybody else. And so perhaps this can be characterized as an ability to self-improve. And so if the chef comes in the kitchen and throws pots and pans at everybody and yells and screams and does everything, and then after that says, I feel better and now I can reflect and think and improve, wonderful, but you've ruined everybody else's week. And so similarly in business, if someone can do these things, can have these internal dialogues, battles, to not be a caricature in the sense of saying I'm always right or I'm always wrong, but being able to earnestly self-reflect and improve, and the key being without detracting from everybody else around you, that is a key sign of leadership. These are what we find to be the 5 real attributes of leadership. Again, we would asterisk this with that do not get views, that are not the binary, black and white, exciting, pandering types of ideas, but to the Dostoevsky quote, the person who masters the gray, right? The person who masters the nuance. So to recap these, so 1, a person that's decisive. 2, a person that is responsible, not looking at fault, simply saying whose problem is it and taking responsibility for that problem. 3, emotional stability. 4, the willingness to do everything that everybody else is at their company, or willingness to do everything that they ask everyone else to do. And 5, the ability to reflect and self-improve without burdening everybody else. Now, if you can pinpoint a good company, look for the leadership within that company, and I assure you they have these characteristics. They may not have all of the cutest memes in social media, they may not have the emotional roller coaster stories that play well to the podcasts, but I assure you they will be who everyone looks to in their company when things are going good, when things are going bad, to lead the way through good and bad, and providing comfort to everybody else that there is someone looking out for them, looking out for the future of the business. And so that's the thought for today. Hope the week's getting off to a good start for everyone. God bless. We'll see you next time.